Animal. Well. Animal. Well. Animal. Well. Animal. Well. Animal Well. This is the new indie game from visionary artist Billy Basso. It feels more appropriate to call Billy an artist than a game developer, because damn it, that's what he is. This game is a piece of art. It was a passion project made over 7 years solely by Billy Basso. He truly made the entire game from scratch by himself. He literally made the game physics engine first and then created the game inside that engine. This is like God not only making the world, he had to make the universe to put that thing in. Speaking of God and creation, this innocent game leaves you with a lot of questions about the universe. What is this weird world? What even are we playing as? And why are all these animals here? There's tons of questions created by this game, but before we get into those, we gotta talk about how beautiful it is and all the work Billy has done. Billy literally created this entire game from the ground up, including the sound effects, music, and even some rare voice recordings for the kangaroo character. I say rare because this game literally has zero dialogue. There is literally nothing in it telling you what to do. If you're wondering how something works in a game, that's what's supposed to be happening. Oh shit, that's rad. This is a rad room. I hope these guys aren't, like, secretly evil. Oh, okay, they are. This game, in the same style as Metroid and Castlevania, puts you into a cavern of many, many different rooms with no clear direction of which way you're supposed to go. When I was a kid, this was the opposite of the idea of fun to me. I was used to Mario, where you walk from the left to the right, and then you jump down a big old pole, and there's fireworks and music, and everybody claps for me. And when I tried playing Metroid, I'm like, you're telling me I gotta go to the right and the left? When am I supposed to know which direction to go? You're telling me I gotta go over here and then back over here, and there's stuff over here I can't even access yet until I have an item that comes from down here? Give me a goddamn break. My next attempt at playing a game like this was a few years ago when I bought Hollow Knight, and after about 15 minutes I decided I'm still too stupid, even as an adult, to play this kind of a game. But finally, the trailer for Metroid Dread was so goddamn good, and it made me want a Denis Villeneuve-directed Metroid movie so bad I thought, this is probably the closest I'm ever gonna get. I'm going to play this psychological thriller of a game. And finally, beating a Metroid game, I can now say that Dread is one of my favorite of all time, and it has made me a better video game player. With Animal Well, I think that players do not have to toughen up as much as I had to with Metroid Dread to enjoy it and figure out what is going on. What I mean by this is that the game really intrinsically provokes your curiosity. It is really adorable and cute, and yet at the same time, the dark setting, lighting, and color palette that might remind you of the floors of arcades from the 90s and 2000s create this interesting atmosphere where the game is very pleasant and relaxing to look at, and then at the same time, it feels very eerie and mysterious. It makes you want to jump from one room into the next and click on everything there. And from there, you can eventually find yourself at the end of the game. As you go through the cavernous rooms, you will constantly find things you can collect, from matches to treasure chests with eggs in them. And eventually, leaving behind the rooms that you literally can't do anything in favor of other rooms in different directions where you can move forward, you'll find tools and items that allow you to progress and master the elements. We got the bubble wand, we're blowing bubbles, we're gonna blow them and we're gonna jump on a bubble, then we're gonna blow another one. Or we're gonna blow a bubble and then we're gonna jump on another. And we're gonna blow a bubble and then, here we go. The music is quite sparse and elicits a lot of feelings. When you're in the save room, it's very beautiful and tranquil to the point that Big Mode actually put out a 1-hour listening video on YouTube. However, a lot of the other rooms are filled with barren sound design, which really just make you feel isolated and somewhat spooked out. There's tons of rooms filled with unexpected things that really can give you a jolt of a jump scare. And often, it's not even really something that in isolation is scary, but just due to the thing's weird movements, unexpected nature, or the sound design coming from them, moments like this can happen. Bye-bye. Oh shit, I just realized I'm just gonna get trapped again. Oh fuck, oh fuck, the dog is chasing me down here? I hate that, I hate this, I'm scared. Fuck. I hate being chased in video games, and yet this game was so cool that I just felt like I had to rise to the occasion and deal with moments like this. But man, this was outside of my comfort zone. I am someone who gave up at the first sign of difficulty in The Last of Us. Hell, I get scared as a kid even when Bowser runs at me in Mario Galaxy. I don't know why, but I just hate it, and so in this game, it was honestly quite a bit of a challenge. But there was something just so exhilarating traversing this world, and there was also something just very oddly comforting playing as the little blob boy, who's really just so cute and really never looks scared, so as long as I was just looking at him, I felt reassured to an extent. This game has many, many layers of secrets and things to discover, and you know what has layers? Onions. And you know who taught me that? A donkey. And you know what a donkey is? An animal. And you know who published this game? Donsley. And as far as I know, Donsley is an animal too. This game is the first from VideoGameDunkey's publishing company, Big Mode. Dunkey has been a staunch supporter of video games for a long time and loves it as an art form. Even in years where the worst shit is being made, he also thinks that there's great things to marvel at. And more than anything, I think that he really appreciates indie developers trying hard to make something new, original, and exciting to players. Even though he's not even really a puzzle game player, this was something that held his attention enough that he believed in it, and so him and Leah put together their agreement to make Animal Well their very first game, published by Big Mode. After merely a week of being released, this game was getting unanimous praise. Tons and tons and tons of 5-star reviews on Steam, and now pretty much across the board, 9 out of 10 and 10 out of 10 reviews from every major publisher coming out the woodworks. Even major YouTubers like Moist Critical Charlie or H3 Ethan Klein have been coming out just to say that this game is great and that you should give it a try.
The starfish are cool. So far, everything's been pretty cool. I'm happy to say that VideoGameDunkey now gets to join this exclusive club of YouTubers that have made a fucking banger outside of just normal content.
90% universal acclaim by reviewers. I've been playing it with my boys. It's super fun. It's great. I mean, it's so great. Such a great game. So congratulations to them. Love them. And I'm very happy and I'm very proud of them. It's amazing. Apparently, this was like the #2 seller.
Damn.
It was like one of the top sellers. It was on the hero slot when I logged in.
When I played this game, I felt such a sense of pride, and my reward systems were being truly stimulated as I figured out puzzles in each room. This game really is as much as you want to put into it. For me personally, it took me 16 hours to beat the main game. However, for other people, it seems like there's been an average play time of somewhere between 6 and 10 hours. I just had to go ahead and combine those two, I guess. It feels like the game is just built on secrecy and things to discover. And it's really exciting to see because Billy Basso even said himself that there's so many things in this game that he doesn't even think people will ever discover, and if they do, it'll take a really long time. However, via Discord messages and a Reddit Ask Me Anything, he's actually been able to confirm that there's quite a few secrets that the community found way faster than he ever anticipated, and yet the full secrets of the game are still yet to be discovered. For instance, this room right here on the left, as of June 3rd, 2024, still has no legitimate method on how to get into the room without using glitches. For a game that's been out for less than 2 months, it is impressive what its most dedicated players have accomplished. You can see speedruns of the game done in a lot less than 16 hours. Some people have beaten it in 13 minutes. But oh, that wasn't fast enough for you? How about 4 minutes? Oh, that wasn't fast enough for you? How about 51 seconds? I'll be real, I don't even know how that's possible. But I guess that's the power of the well. See, some people zoom through this game incredibly quickly through legitimate means, and other people have leaned on glitches, using things that I don't even know how you would even discover. But it seems Billy was anticipating data miners and glitch discoveries because there's one item you can only acquire using glitches called the Cheater's Ring. And there's another item people have discovered that you can acquire by beating the game without ever dying, but if that wasn't enough, this guy beat the entire game without even taking any damage in a mere 47 minutes.
I'm doing it without taking any damage, and even without falling into the water.
What this game has pushed people to try is just insane. Some dedicated fans have even tracked down older versions of the game, first finding unlisted YouTube trailers, and now they've found ways to actually play the beta version of the game seen here. You can really see how far the game has come, because even though the beta still looked great, Billy has added a lot of artistic touches with the CRT scan lines, a better looking map, and more fully realized versions of some of the puzzles and mechanics showcased in the beta. There are so many small details to this game, even the background details wind up mattering. Eventually, you get tools that interact with some of the background elements that you've walked past a million times and never would have guessed actually mattered. Once I realized this and I was still running around the map in circles trying to beat the game, I found myself analyzing every square inch of the screen for potential secrets. Never once have I found myself in Mario thinking that the mountains or clouds would actually do something. But in Animal Well, it feels like anything could wind up being important later or have a secret meaning. Beating the first ending of the game is relatively simple in terms of knowing what you're supposed to do. You might not know how to do it quite yet, but it is clear from the beginning that there are 4 main areas of the map you're trying to get to, and from there, what you're supposed to do next reveals itself pretty shortly. But then there's the second ending. Throughout the game, you're collecting eggs, and so you might think to yourself, hey, this peacock has a pretty nice shelf going, why don't I find the rest of the eggs and maybe that'll make something happen. And sure enough, this is how you activate the second ending to the game. I decided I wanted to do it, so I wound up walking around and around and around the map over and over again looking for these damn things. And I gotta say, I am not a completionist to video games hardly ever. There are a lot of post-game and DLC to games that I love, I have barely ever touched, and I definitely have never tried to get all the items in a game before. But in Animal Well, it felt less like an arbitrary compulsion to grab 100% of the objects, and it felt more so like what I needed to do to fully explore this world and see what it had to offer. By the end, you find yourself looking at some of the background details wondering, what are these statues about? What is this guy's deal? And who built this damn well? You think to yourself, yeah, I know this place. I've mastered finding items, finding eggs. I am becoming the well. And I want to know who built it and why we're all here. In other words, finding all the eggs and beating the second ending to me felt less like an optional second thing to do, and more like I was truly beating the game. Because although I did technically beat the main story, you find yourself afterwards being like, hey, I don't even have all the items, and I want to find out what these other items do and what they might reveal. And then I realized from some basic counting that there were 64 eggs, but I only have 48. And I had walked everywhere. I had walked over here. I've walked over there. Up here. Down there. How the hell are there 16 more eggs to find? And every single time I wanted to give up, I wound up somehow outdoing myself and finding a few more. That is, until eventually there were 8 left. And I was beat, so I finally turned to the subreddit. Some posts were spoiler tagged, giving a first hint that nudges me in the right direction. And sometimes that was enough. But on some of them, you gotta hit the second hint someone gave that's a little bit less vague, and then a third, and a fourth, and then boom, you finally beat the puzzle. It's funny the community is like this, so carefully not revealing spoilers, because they realize the majority of the reward of this game is figuring stuff out and feeling proud of yourself for being so big-brained. But at the same time, of these final 8 eggs, I can say with certainty I could have figured out about 3 of them. But as far as the other 5, there is no chance I ever would have figured them out on my own.
Fuck this shit, man.
Billy even said himself some puzzles were so hard people would probably result to community help. And that honestly made the late stage of this game really fun, because it made it feel like you were a part of a big group of people solving a mystery. It reminded me of when I was a kid and I beat Pokemon Leaf Green on my own, and then there was a little post game with these 3 islands, and I was like, oh okay, that's kinda cool. But then one day I was in Target and I saw the guidebook, and I was like, holy shit, there's 7 islands? I can catch the Johto legendary dogs? I have to read Braille? There's so many things to do!
Hey, I never asked you. Yeah. You like guacamole?
Sometimes with the most difficult stuff, it can be kind of exciting in its own way to have somebody just lay out for you all the stuff there is to do and follow it, just to get to the end of this world that you've put a ton of time in. And luckily with Animal Well, in a very, very short period of time, people have been finding things that would have been impossible for most players. Because after this second ending, I learned about the third ending. And I gotta say, after looking into this, there genuinely is some shit I have no idea how anyone figured out. Without saying it directly, didn't know I needed tools in the real world. I haven't beaten the third ending yet, but I just cannot wait that long to make this video because I just gotta get out how much I love this game while it's still fresh, and then I'm gonna plunge myself right back into the well. And I've even seen some people online say, oh, get ready for the 4th layer, or the 5th layer, and I'm like, when will it stop? Is this well infinite? The whole game is only 33 megabytes for God's sake. Billy, how did you fit so much of a masterpiece into such a tiny file? No, not that Billy. This Billy. That's only like enough space for 1/53 of Animal Well. But truly, with 60 gigabyte games, 100 gigabyte games becoming more and more common where most of the data is just uncompressed audio files, it truly is a marvel how Billy fit so much joy into something only as big as about 4 MP3 files of Darude Sandstorm. Hell, it's only as big as like a 10-second screen recording of Animal Well itself. So for anyone looking to play around for a while as a cute little blob boy in a game that is full of puzzles and mysteries, which invites you to leave and stop playing whenever you like, but at the same time conditions you to want to keep on going, go pick up Animal Well. From Tall Skeleton, this was Zane Berry. Have a nice night. He's a Mexican jumping bean!